Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we take a look at people's opinions on such issues. I am Ruth Osime. Welcome back to Perspectives, the Honorized News. American streamer Ishowspeed recently completed a 28-day tour across 20 African countries as part of his Speed Does Africa series, live streaming culture, history and everyday life to millions of young viewers. At just 21, he's become one of the most influential creators of his generation, using real-time content to challenge long-held narratives about Africa. When Speed arrived in Nigeria, millions tuned in, not through a formal tourism campaign, but via a spontaneous live stream. What the world saw was Nigeria's energy, crowds, movements, humor, and spontaneity. There were opportunities to provide additional content to give international audiences a fuller sense of Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. In countries like Kenya and Ghana, Speed's visit was framed with curated experiences and official welcomes, offering a useful point of comparison to Nigeria. For many Nigerians, it was a moment of reflection. Nigeria's energy and spontaneity made an impression, but future visits can build on these moments to tell even more layered, intentional stories. We're heading for a short break, but stay with us because in a brief moment we shall begin to focus on the day's subject matter with my distinguished guests, Damilola and Marshall, Tomiwa, Talabi, and Bodex Hungbo. Perspectives will return in just a moment. Welcome back to Perspectives, the Honorized News. I'm being joined on Perspectives today by Damilola and Marshall, a lawyer, entrepreneur, and public servant, serving as Senior Special Assistant on Tourism, Arts and Culture to Lagos State Governor. She drives the state government's global tourism, creative economy, and youth talent development. We also have joining us Tomiwa Talabi, a brand strategist and digital influence professional who uses social media to build engaged audiences and measurable impacts. He has helped brands plan and execute effective rollout campaigns and partnerships online. And rounding off this list of accomplished guests is Bodex Hungbo, a multi-award-winning Nigerian digital media strategist, PR and brand expert, and chairperson of Bodex Group International. She has led campaigns for top brands including Globacom, UBA, Zenith Bank, and the US Embassy, and is regarded as one of Nigeria's most influential voices in digital media and brand strategy. Good morning to you all and welcome. It's good to have you on Perspectives. But before we start, I'm about to play a clip that more or less encapsulates the very significance of this 28-day, 20-nation visit to Africa by Ishowspeed. Let's take a look and be right back.
I'm speaking as somebody who grew up swallowing the same bullshit stories everybody else who was not African did, and finally watched them fall apart in real time. Because that's exactly what's happening right now. What Ishowspeed is doing in Africa is not just travel content. It's not just entertainment. It's not just a streamer having fun. It is exposure. It is exposure. For centuries, Western media worked overtime to make Africa look like one thing and one thing only: poor, broken, dangerous, backward, underdeveloped, starving, hopeless. No nuance, no humanity, no joy, no modern cities, no culture beyond suffering. Just the same tired images recycled over and over until people stopped questioning them. Those images were not accidental. They were literally useful. They were useful. Because when you brainwash and convince the world that a place is nothing but chaos, you don't have to respect it. You don't have to invest in it. You don't have to learn from it. You don't have to treat its people like equals. Now enter a young black kid from Cincinnati, Ohio with a phone, a camera, a crew, and a live stream. No script, no media filter, no permission. And suddenly the story cracks. He lands in South Africa, Ethiopia, Nigeria, Angola, Kenya, Rwanda. And what happens? Not what we were told would happen. He's welcomed, he's protected, he's fed, he's celebrated, Artists give him their work, kids chant his name, vendors hand him real food, real warmth, real generosity. City after city, border after border. Welcome home. And yeah, people will say, well, he's famous. Okay, then explain why that same fame did not protect him everywhere else. Because in parts of Europe and Asia, where he's just as known, he was met with racial slurs, monkey noises, bananas thrown at him. That did not come from nowhere. But on the African continent, he's treated like family. And that's why this matters more than people realize. Because his audience is young. Millions of kids who only knew Africa through disaster headlines and distorted history lessons and brainwashing and false narratives. Now they're watching a live stream that does not match the lie. They're watching joy, modern cities, music, style, food, love, pride, safety, community. They're watching respect. And when a 15 or 16-year-old black kid in America, or just any kid in America who's been told their whole life that Africa has no food, no water, or there's nothing there, they just live in stick huts, watches Speed eating local food, laughing, being embraced, something shifts. Maybe Africa isn't a struggle. Maybe Africa is not a warning. Maybe Africa is not a charity case. Maybe Africa is connection. Maybe Africa is opportunity. Maybe Africa is home. And that realization is dangerous, not to people, but to a narrative. A long-running story that kept Africans in the diaspora disconnected from the continent, disconnected from culture, disconnected from possibility, disconnected from each other. Once people see the truth, the old script stops working.
Didn't you find that very interesting to listen to? It totally encapsulates this narrative that has been wrongly given about Africa as a continent. And in the course of our conversation, I'll definitely revisit this video that we just saw. But let me first start. The reason for this episode is to actually ask questions. Because I know that, I only heard of Ishowspeed. I'm not a Gen Z. I Ishowspeed, and I was like, this is very fascinating. A 21-year-old boy to have achieved this feat. Obviously, is he the biggest streamer that we have now?
Yes, he is.
He's the biggest streamer in the world. Fantastic. Now, we have the biggest streamer in the world visit a place like Lagos. What went wrong? Because we've heard so many complaints as to we didn't portray ourselves in the best light, we could have done much better. So I thought it was only fair that somebody in your fields, tourism, should explain to us that what went wrong and what opportunities could have been highlighted more effectively to showcase Nigeria's heritage and history and our legacy.
Thank you very much, Ruth. Intentionality, that's the exact word. The exact word for things that should have been done better and differently. I feel if Ishowspeed's team had communicated, partnered with the government to make the visits very, very engaging. There are key tourism stakeholders. We have tourism bodies, we've got cultural institutions, and we also have security agencies. So if all these people are being informed, were pre-informed, I believe the visit will have put Africa in good light. Also, scheduling is also very, very important. When you schedule each place you're going to be, at a particular time, if it is 20 minutes you're spending, you schedule. Basically, we were not informed, so that is it. And I can also see that his visit was kind of spontaneous and celebrity-led. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying celebrities are not good hosts, but they lack the tourism strategy, where the main tourism bodies come together and were able to put Nigeria in good light. So let me just say intentionality was it. We weren't carried along and the government wasn't informed. Yes, we tried to reach out. In my professional capacity, I reached out, and the Honorable Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture as well, Mrs. Toke Benson, also tried to reach out. But all our moves proved abortive.
But so who were they liaised? They must have liaised with somebody.
They didn't liaise with anyone in government. In fact, we were literally trying to...
Did they liaise with a PR company? They couldn't have just come to a country without knowing who to see and who to talk to.
Maybe a PR company.
Did you now try to reach out to that PR company?
Yeah, I tried to reach out to the PR company, but they said the people on his team are young people, and we know how young people are not usually organized, blah, 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 and that was it.
And I'm assuming, okay, so there was a PR company that they liaised with here in Nigeria.
The plug.
Yes. Okay, so why did the plug refuse, apart from them being young, didn't the plug see the benefits of and reward of liaising with you for this, whatever? Did they think it was going to take the shine away from them?
We don't understand. We reached out.
Okay, let me ask you, Bodex. So, how can we ensure next time, how can we ensure that the elements are not only seen but clearly understood and appreciated internationally? Because yes, we saw some parts where they were describing things to him and what have you, but I felt that the narrative was not strong enough to leave a lasting impression on not just him but also those that were watching. So how can we sell our culture? How can we sell our story? How do we interpret to make sure that whoever is witnessing lives with a lasting memory?
Okay.
And what areas do you think that this kind of
Thank you so much.
presentation would work best?
Thank you so much for that question, Mama. I want to speak on what Dami already said, that they were not informed and all that. So I think going forward, there should kind of be a partnership package between these promoters, the PR companies, so they should have those ones between them and the international acts that are coming in, so that they can be able to own the narrative. This is a live streamer, not a pre-recorded kind of event where they can actually edit other things and then remove the things they don't want us or even the international audience to see. So going forward, they should come up with a partnership package for these people, that you don't just bring in an international person into Nigeria. This is our country where we already even stereotype. People are already saying the anyhowness in Nigeria is too much. And now we have a live streamer who is supposed to project us positively and kind of help us to redefine the narrative of how Nigeria is being perceived, and we actually failed on that. So I think going forward, people should come up with a package and make it very compulsory. You don't just bring in people here that will tell our stories the way they might not be able to tell the story the way we want. So people need to actually, own that. Then for going forward, other things we can also do. We have the food, we have the we have fashion, we have the local traditions and all that. So I feel on arrival alone, we should create an event on that, because this is a live streamer. If it's just an ordinary act, it's actually different. But the story needs to be actually told differently. So on arrival, they can actually create a little event around that by partnering with some of our telecommunication and all that to do the branding at that at the international airport. Then they have somebody presenting their SIM card, because you're coming into another country. You need a SIM card, you need the Wi-Fi, you need internet to do whatever you want to do. So we need to create a scene at the airport so that they can also live stream how we welcome, how we actually do our reception when we have new people coming in. Then we should also allow the live streaming industry to actually own the events. So we should have gotten some of these people. We have a Purple Speedy who has over 16 million. In fact, she's even before Pella. I think she is number 1, followed by Chukwudi also. Then Pella is number 3. So they should allow those people to also be part of the reception. Then we can have the YouTube, the Facebook, because this is their own user that is actually coming into the country. So those are the things they ought to have done on arrival. Thank you.
Speaking of which, of course, I'm sure you will have heard that Ghana place where all the women were massaging him, the place has been booked for a whole year.
It's sold out already.
It's what?
I said it's sold out already.
It's sold out already. Wow. Do you understand? So imagine if we had something like that. Imagine if you had something like, there's just so many other things that we have to offer. And I like the way the Ghanaian lady first welcomed him, explained what the whole thing was about and how it can be done. And then, also now explain different aspects of their culture, whether we like it or not. I knew a lot more about Ghana from this visit. Do you understand? But I can't say much about Nigeria. So speaking of this storytelling tool now, because Nigeria, he wasn't here for one day. He was in Ghana for how many days?
I think 24 hours as well.
24 hours as
well. 24 hours?
Yeah, 24
I thought it was in Ghana for like about 2 or 3 days.
No, 2 days in Ghana. He was in Nigeria for 24 hours.
Yes. Was it 2 days in Ghana?
Yeah, 2 days in Ghana.
Ours look more like he was in transit. If you ask
Yes, because of the lack of planning and what have you.
There was no positioning,
So, but do you think additional time might have allowed Nigeria to tell a more layered and intentional story?
Yes, definitely.
I'm asking you.
Well, to be honest, I feel like without the right planning put in place, even if you use it like 5 days, it's still not going to go well. You can use 24 hours in a particular place. Like Benin Republic now, I spent like 24 hours. I watched the entire stream. So everybody knew what they were doing, right from the point where he landed there. At some point, they wouldn't have to take a helicopter to go to certain places just because Like, he doesn't like to do long road trips. That's what he said. Anything that's more than like 30 minutes is too long.
Yes, I heard that. I heard that he didn't want to spend more than 15 minutes
at a particular location based
location
on streaming reasons.
Because of the streaming reasons. But how practical would that have been for us in Lagos here? I mean, between the traffic and what have you, how practical would that have been?
Like I said,
to be able to stay within that 15 minutes.
Like I said earlier on, when you bring the key stakeholders, you bring them together, we can have an entire 360 experience that will be engaging. Imagine we have LASMA on deck. You can easily take the BRT road, get to where you need to get to. So, like I said, you just need to put the main key stakeholders aloof, let them know what is going on. And you have, yes, and the waterways as well. There are lots of places. He didn't visit a whole lot of places. We have Badagry slave trade that speaks about our history as Nigerians.
Even the Lekki
we have
market.
Takwa Bay for lifestyle. We have a whole lot of places. Lagos is rich in culture. That is not Lagos. Trust me, that is not Lagos.
That's not Lagos.
Very much so. So you mentioned the stakeholders, but how else can you plan for safety, public behavior, and media unpredictability without stifling spontaneity?
Like I said, if we bring all these key stakeholders together, things will be done in a coordinated way, and things will be done in a more organized way.
Oh, okay.
So partnership planning, institutional support is still the main thing.
Yes, okay. Now, also, we had, I don't know whether it's wasted minutes, extra minutes that wasn't welcome. We had our biggest streamer. Okay, we're going to the break now. So I'll ask you that question when we come back. So see you right back on Perspective. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back to Perspective. Let's dive right back in. Now, Bodex, I want to talk about this Pella issue. What happened? What went wrong? Because he's our biggest streamer. Yes. And it was so sad for him to have been portrayed in that light, trying desperately, begging. I don't know whether that was for content, but it just reeked of desperation and undermined his role as our #1 streamer. So what went wrong?
For Pella, it was just so unfortunate that he thought this was the normal Niger cruise. You know, because if you ask me on his live stream, I don't think he actually has any niche that he actually, that he talks about. Most times what he does...
But how come he's the #1 streamer?
Because he has the traction.
Level of intellectuality and stuff.
No, because, most times Nigerians, what we want is, we just want something that will make us laugh.
Okay.
Whether it's anything productive or not. So, but from the ones I've watched, I've seen some celebrities, went into his studio and he was always like, oh, this chain, 10 billion, this one. And I'm wondering...
Yeah, but he's only 20. What do you expect? I mean, he's still young.
So he lacks strategy, he lacks positioning, he lacks branding, and he doesn't also have a niche. For somebody like Ishowspeed, I'm sure he would have researched on some of our streamers.
No, but they said he didn't want any content creators. He wanted to be the
it doesn't mean that he
people.
will not do his research. I can do my research and still decide not to talk to you.
But did he meet content creators in other countries?
Yes, he did in Ghana, actually.
He actually met some.
Yeah, some dancers, some this, some that.
Yeah, content creators.
Content creators.
Yes.
So why did he resist?
I think the reason...
Okay.
No, sorry, let's finish.
Okay, I think it's like I said, he must have done his own research and then find out who am I supposed to engage on this trip. Fela was supposed to have access to everything Nigeria stands for. Like you said, we have the Bodex slave trade, we have the Berefu, the place of no return, we have the tree where the Christianity was first preached in Nigeria, and all that. Pella was supposed to have access to all those things and live stream them and talk about our cultural tradition, but he doesn't. So you don't expect me that is coming to your country to have anything to do with you. I won't. It's normal. But had he already had all those assets that this guy is coming to see, to experience.
Okay, you could have been the
it would have been easy.
The face that would sell
he
this.
literally actually embarrassed Nigeria. Sorry that I'm going to use Mr. President. It's like Mr. President going for what President Summit. And he has to take a horse to be announcing, my name is Mr. President. I'm the Nigeria president.
But I was thinking that was a stink. Was it really? Do you think he was serious? I think
he was actually serious because he knew the guy wasn't going to engage him. He didn't go extra mile to meet the guy. He went extra mile just to see. And
okay,
let's
bring Tomiwa in. You said why do you think what's his name?
Pella.
Speed rejected Pella.
So I have two beliefs, right? Number one, I feel like Pella was actually blacklisted. It was very obvious.
Why?
Because there was like an old video that surfaced when Pella was talking about, he heard Speed is coming to Nigeria and he's not going to see Speed when Speed comes to Nigeria. He's not going to like really care about him when it comes to Nigeria. So I'm sure Speed had seen that because obviously a lot of research went into this whole thing. So yeah, that's my first belief. Like he was actually blacklisted because of that. And second of all, Speed streams on Twitch. Pella streams on Kick. These are like two competing brands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and Pella is one of their highest speed. Right, so, and when he was coming to meet Speed...
That might be more the underlying reason than anything else.
So when he was coming to meet Speed, there's something called stream sniping.
What's that?
So, let's say I'm streaming on my own platform, for example, and you just cause no notification, you're bringing your own stream to come and meet me. So that's called stream sniping.
Okay.
They don't appreciate that as streamers. Especially when you're now streaming on Kick, which is a very big competing brand with Twitch. Those are like the major competing brands, right?
That sounds more logical. As
Yeah,
why.
so if Pella's content now decides to start going viral and it has Speed in it, there's Speed doing some form of PR for Kick, right? So he tried as much as possible to also like avoid all of that. So I just feel like it was intentional.
And please, I'm curious, how much does a Pella earn and is Speed earn this streaming thing?
So on YouTube alone for Speed, he earns like close to $1 million on YouTube alone.
A year or?
A month.
A month?
Yeah.
Wow.
On YouTube alone. That's minus sponsored posts.
And not to mention brands and all of that.
Not to mention brands.
What about Pella?
Well, it depends. Pella is big on TikTok. On a TikTok live, you can earn as much as 10 million naira. Because one gift, like a lion, for example, is like about $400. If they give to a lion on like TikTok live, it's like $400. And sometimes you get like over 50 of that.
Oh, wow. So on average, what would you call his earnings?
Well, on which of the platform? Like generally?
Generally, yes.
That guy's do like 100 million a month.
Pella?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or more.
That's very fascinating, very interesting to know. But there was also another issue that also caused a bit of controversy online because they felt if you meet somebody like a Speed, for instance, you want to grab that opportunity, that even if it's just 1 minute or 2 minutes, to make as much impact as you can and get as much out of him as you can. And then this Egungun now goes, and that also costs another, opera. So can you explain, break it down?
For me, authenticity is very important. Young people need to connect with real stories, not over-exaggerated, overly curated stories. We have a whole lot of people, a whole lot of interviewers that will have put Nigeria in good light. We have a whole lot of young digital creators that can tell the Lagos story. Lagos doesn't need to reinvent itself. We just need proper people that will tell our story clearly. That is what we need. So Egungun did not tell our story clearly. We have a whole lot of people that will have asked intellectual questions.
Do you think he was a bit overwhelmed? Maybe that's why?
I think so.
No, he wasn't ready.
I want to believe he was overwhelmed.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't intentional.
That's where proper planning comes in.
Ishowspeed was. Because if he did, I don't understand.
That's not what you should ask.
He looks strong and healthy.
That wasn't a nice question. No, we have a whole lot of people that will have shown how intellectually sound we are.
Yes, and there's so many intellectually sound.
Yeah, we've got Koti, we've got a whole lot of people. Yeah.
Then he later asked, when did you start doing boo boo?
No, that didn't cut it for
For an
us.
international streamer,
Yeah.
that's embarrassing.
So that was kind of exaggerated for me. When you're natural, everything flows.
Yes.
So authenticity is it, basically.
But is there any way that you can create a better understanding between yourself and these PR companies? That, look, let's use this as an example, see what went wrong. This is what we could... Is there a law that says that they must work with the Lagos State Tourism if they're going to do another event like that?
From time to time.
Or can a law be created?
From time to time, we usually have stakeholders engagement, whereby we bring people from the private sector, and we on the side of the government, we engage them. We ask them what they want on the side of the government. So if the ministry has things like this, I feel everything is already put in place. All they need to do is just try as much as possible to attend the stakeholders' engagement so you can make your opinion known. Tell the government, charge us, that is why we're here. Tell us what you want.
Because there's also those that complain that, I mean, in other countries, I think one
and
country,
our governor,
vice president came to receive speed. Another country, I think one of the ministers, and of course, another big question people are asking, what happened to Minister of Tourism? And it's so unfair that you guys are getting the flack of it, because it just came across as you guys were not prepared.
We weren't informed. We have a youth-centric governor.
Which is why I'm saying, in moving forward, can an agreement be made?
Definitely.
Because the advantages of involving the tourism sector far outweighs you wanting to do it on your own as a private individual or a private run company. Do you understand? So in moving forward, is there a way you can at least ensure that agreement is met? Yeah,
we run an open door policy. People bring letters for sponsorship support. We support events and different things. So like you said, they can come to the Ministry of Tourism. No,
I'm not saying they can come. I'm saying, is there a way you can insist that
Yes, sure. There are regulations. There are laws, there are regulations that need to be abided by. That needs to be abided by.
So it's not a matter of whether you want to come or not.
All they need to do is they just need to abide by these regulations.
Okay, but it's not in place yet, because otherwise that company wouldn't have used you.
They are in place.
No, if they were in place, that company would have had to work with you.
They are in place, but you know, not everyone likes to involve the government in what they do. So
then there should be a fine to that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. My point is, if it's in place, that is imperative you work with the tourism sector, because the aim is to promote Nigeria as a brand.
As a brand.
That clause should be there.
Yes, we're going to admonish them moving forward, because we have to put our country. We have to put our country and our state in good light.
Because it makes a huge difference.
Lagos is very rich in culture and heritage.
I mean, look at Dirty December.
We've hosted a whole lot of international people. We've hosted Sierra. Dirty December, we hosted Sierra, and everything was properly coordinated and planned. She had a swell time.
She did.
Okay, we are going on a break yet again. So see you right back on Perspectives. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back to Perspectives. Damilola, before I start the next question, you're going to add to the last statement that you made concerning working cohesively with...
Like I said, it's always important to plan and partner with the government for ease of engagement. Like I said, it's always better to come to the government because we've got the tourism strategy whereby we bring all the institutions in place, security, LASMA, and our guests can have a very, very engaging and meaningful visit. So moving forward...
We also have a bigger outreach.
Yes, and we also have a bigger outreach. We can make everything happen. I mean, it's government.
Yes, it only makes sense.
It only makes sense to make it bigger and to also put our country and our state in good light.
Okay, let me ask you about this. How can high visibility visits like this be turned into coherent narratives that continue to shape perception long after the camera stops?
Well, I think for us, food, music, and local traditions, they're actually one of our most powerful storytelling tools. For somebody like Ishowspeed, I would have loved to see where they have an open field and they have different local chefs trying to do all types of
different
food,
flavors, yes,
and then explain how Nigerian jollof rice is being cooked.
Well, he did that in Ghana, didn't he?
Because they actually prey on what we didn't do.
Yes, because I was wondering when he was tasting the rice, I was like, where did he get the rice from?
They actually used the opportunity that Nigerians are.
Although he did say Nigerian jollof was still better.
So every other countries they actually visited, they actually prey on what we did not know, because they know we are very good at reception. We are very good at taking care of people. So there's nothing wrong in bringing all our local chefs together. Let each person do different meal and then explain how the food was actually cooked, because this is a live streamer that is coming into Nigeria to experience Nigeria.
I also wish that you know how they weave the ashoke?
Yes.
The way they at the red, the way they dyed, like what you're wearing now, the way it's done.
Even for our music, they could have a section where he sees, then they'll be able to showcase how our music acts start from grassroots to global stages. Things like that are meant to be put together for experience, because by now we should grow beyond exposure. What we should be doing in Nigeria is experience, and that lasts longer than explanation. From those short clips Ishowspeed posted online, people who have never Googled Nigeria or who never even knew about Nigeria, they now have an idea what Nigeria is about and other, because they chose to follow this person instead of me in Nigeria. So I think going forward, things like that should be put together. Our market women, just like Sierra did. Sierra went to Balogun Market It was scripted, but the reactions were spontaneous. They were natural. People were like, oh, I can bet you that some of the market women don't even know who Sarah was. But because the face was new in the market, everybody was happy. They want to give her the Ashoke, the Adive, and all that. So I think going forward, those are the things we should do. Then they should also have like a short summit for our live streamers. Since he is bigger than the people he was coming to meet, we can actually have a summit for live streamer where he teaches them how he started and how can they also leverage on his own understanding to get to that level that he is.
Okay, we're saying speed, but we're using, it's not just the speed that will come and visit. We're just using this, the mistakes made here to learn from. Okay, so let me ask you, beyond international audiences, how do moments like Speed's visit shape how Nigerians themselves see their country and culture?
Man, to be honest, I feel like what we consider basic is actually like a big deal to people that
yes,
are
I think
Nigeria.
we undermine the strength of our culture.
When he came, I like the idea of him being inside the Danfo bus touring Lagos. That alone is an experience. That is every Nigerian's day-to-day, maybe not every Nigerian, that's their day-to-day struggle, and that alone tells a story. Like the Okada tells a story. So those things, I think we actually undermine. So we need to project these things more.
Yes, because another thing that also came across was this begging parts, where they were begging. I don't know whether in other countries, did he witness anybody asking for monies?
No, we didn't see it. It's not like they don't have it, but they decided to hide that part.
Okay, and then we now just open our own.
Because they saw that we already made that mistake. Yes. Just like Dami said, if they have actually consulted the right people that'll help them put all these things together, I don't think anybody wants to take any international act where they are begging for money.
Yes, that's okay. Let's now get to the Africa. I mean, you saw that video that just came on, and it made my skin, it made the hair on my back, back of my neck stand. Because I'm like, I mean, how do people in this day and age, let's ask you, Tommy, how do people in the 21st century, 2026, still see Africa as backward? Is it the narrative being given globally, or us not giving the narrative strongly enough?
I think Africa deserves its own PR company, to be very honest, because most of the times when these people actually come to Nigeria, like, for example, I think Talabi was in Nigeria some years ago, they take them to the clubs, take them to different clubs in Lagos. But these people actually want to experience Nigeria. They want to experience Africa. They want to go to the slums to see what is actually happening there. They want to go to normal places because, I mean, they're always club, even in their countries. So I think we need to tell that story our own selves. Although some people are already doing that on YouTube.
I was just going to say that some people are already doing that. But at the same time, why do such narratives still find traction globally, despite our visible cultural, economic and creative impact? I mean, we have so many other, we as a city, we are not exactly a slum. Do you understand? So who should be helping us shape this narrative better?
Our content creators.
No, aside
from that, there must be more than that.
Simple. The reason why it looks as if lots of people are trying to redefine how Nigeria is being perceived abroad, but it still comes back being negative. It's because the total number of people who are telling the story is actually smaller to the people who are trying to destroy
and
it.
bad news flies faster.
Flies better. Yes.
There was a time J. Cole came to Nigeria and he performed.
Who?
J. Cole.
Okay.
And he performed at a hotel. People were singing along. Then he posted on his Instagram. Then in the comments section, they have internet in Africa.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm sorry, let me chip something in. You know, you mentioned something about Pella not showing the rich cultural heritage of Lagos. That's why I said our content creators should tell our story clearly.
Yes.
We have a very, very rich culture that will not automatically sell itself. So we need people that will tell that story. That's why our content creators
but why don't we have? But we see it seems as if we have content creators that believes that trash sells more than substance. Because why don't we have? Can you tell me one content creator now that all they do is talk about the good side of Africa? I mean, can you?
I know.
Okay. But is he as popular as Pella?
Not at all.
You see? So,
and he is just one.
Yes,
200
seems
million.
exactly. So it still boils down to what sells. And if mediocrity sells far better than substance, we ourselves are also not selling our own story and changing the narrative well enough.
We need to come together as Nigerians and start letting
Not just
us know.
Nigerians, even Africans as a whole.
No, but at least now our own story is negative now, so we need to pay more attention to our own home first before we want to deviate into another person. So I think we need to come together and talk more about positivity, because the mindset content creators have is that negative news actually sells faster and it brings more money, and brands start running after them. Yeah, it does. So that's why we need to come together and let everybody know now that, see, we know that negative news is sells. That's the only time you can get endorsement and all that. But can we please all come together, including all the brands, come together and promote more of positivity. Any content creators who wants to showcase twerking and all this stuff, do not give them any endorsement. Do not associate with them. Do not identify with them.
Well, but if the brands see that the numbers are
That's
there.
what I'm saying. If we come together and we are able to create this consistent awareness, these people will start waking up. Because abroad, they also have all these negative things flying out, but they try to control it. In fact, they have more bad things than us. But the control is just too
Don't you also
massive.
think it's a bit intentional for the West to sell this negative impression, negative narrative about Africa?
No, because
if you listen to that
gave it
guy
out.
on the video
TikTok,
that we played earlier on, he was angry. But then again, I'm also thinking, how backward can you be that you do not know that Africa already has earned its presence at the seat of the table?
Because that's the story they've been selling.
So
to
does
them.
that mean that this mediocrity is a global thing? Because if we complain about Nigeria celebrating mediocrity, that means the average American too is mediocre. Because how can you not know that we have earned our seats at the table?
But it's possible.
In this day and age.
It's not everybody
They
that
just want
is
to look the other way and
No,
pretend like
but
they don't know.
I think it's because of the narrative being sold to them.
that's what I said. It's still
Intentionally.
your story.
So we need
About
to
how
do
we are
better.
taught
Yes.
we always need money
It's them all
to...
their lives. So.
Exactly.
Yes, so
Exactly.
it becomes part of them.
So it's really up to us to
Yes,
change that
we
narrative.
change the
It's just
narrative,
us.
yeah.
We don't have problem with
And
them.
thanks to the artists, now we have the likes of Davido, Whiskey,
Oh yes, and
football
whiskies
artists.
and yes.
They're actually
yes,
doing well
yes,
on the global
yes,
scale.
yes.
So that's also
And don't you also think that our movies are also helping with that in Nollywood?
yes.
They are helping.
They're
too.
doing a great job.
They are helping, but at least music is still number one.
Yeah, music is number
Currently.
one. Yeah.
Because I think because of the language barrier too, because of the Yoruba one and all that. So in other African countries they can't speak that.
But guess what? They speak. They even sing Yoruba. People sing along to Ashake these days.
No, but I think when you like a
That's
song,
music.
When you like
you
a
don't
song,
necessarily
language
have
is
to
not
understand the
yes.
language.
For the music.
Yeah, language is a barrier,
for the
but music is the bridge.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, but at least our music, in terms of our music, is just
Fantastic.
it's amazing.
Fantastic.
It's just that I
That's
wish
so
that if we had a streamer like
Ishowspeed.
Ishowspeed, it would have been somebody who represents
Us properly.
our intellects, who represents us as a people that are enlightened, that are exposed. You don't think we can ever get one like that?
I mean, there's somebody-
It's only as popular as
we
Pella.
can.
There's somebody on Instagram, his name is Toby. I think he's been
Okay.
doing a lot of like northern tours, going to like different places.
Oh yes, I
showing
think
their-
I saw that.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's doing it quite well.
What does he do?
Highlighting
He's an-
beautiful places.
Highlighting places.
Historical places.
Okay, highlighting
and all
historical
that.
places
Yes.
and all that.
Like spelling the knot, like just showing a
Yes.
different
But
side
guess
to it.
what?
Exactly.
It's on trend. So
It's
we
on
need
trend,
to come
exactly. It
together
is the
and
up
trend
down
it.
trend.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
So how can you make that now more popular? How can you now make it? It's
Well,
okay,
well,
like you
I
said.
think brands can
Media
actually partner.
houses is
Yes.
by media houses coming together, content creators coming together, especially media houses. Because sometimes when these people, when they put out the content and they want to show it on Arise, on so TV station, it's always like, oh, you pay for this one to do this one. So now let's just make it an open opportunity for everybody. Once you have something that is telling a positive story of Nigeria, just bring it on.
And also
We'll show
brands
it.
actually also tap into things like that because
Yes.
most of these things is actually self-funded by those influencers and traveling is not cheap.
Okay,
It's true.
that's because they don't have any sponsors.
Yes, they don't have sponsors, sure.
But now that you mention all of this, I cannot but also bring this thing back to tourism. I feel that the tourism sector should be doing a lot more. There was a book that Kelechi Amandiobi did. He called The Eight Wonders of the World. And when I saw the images there, I could not believe that this was in Nigeria. You know, waterfalls, rocks, mountains. And I think in the tourism sector, there's not enough mobility and access to these places. I feel that if you invest more and make hubs around these areas that people can stay for 2 or 3 days, build hotels, build whatever, because I know that with Kelechi it took him forever to get to some of these destinations. You understand? So is that something that not just for Lagos? I'm just talking about the tourism sector as a whole. That what are the extra miles that you're going to go to ensure that these beauties and these sites are easily accessible? To people.
Okay, that's why whenever people have things like this, they come to us and we offer them institutional support. They have to just tell us that this is what we want. We even go as far as giving financial support for them to be able to achieve what they need to do.
No, but some of them don't have habitable quarters. In other words, if you're going to go all the way to, I know there's some places in Sokoto and God knows where. If you're going to go to all this, where will you stay? You don't want to be too far from what is happening. So is also building structures that can make these places habitable enough for people to stay 3 or 4 days, and not just Nigerians. Because if you see that book of the pictures, they are really the 8 wonders of the world, and they all of them had a long history. And I know that it will attract tourists. We as Nigerians might not appreciate it as much. Do you understand? Sure. So I was wondering if it's something that you can also discuss with other states, where you build structures, you make those places accessible, and maybe ignite more interest.
Sure. So they can even leverage on you guys' endorsement.
Exactly.
Use their facilities, go around another, instead of starting another engagement when they get to that state.
So adding to that as well, like a festival as big as Ojudioba.
Exactly.
Always been.
Yes.
But only one video just made the whole thing.
Are you serious? Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Farouk was even the next year. Yes. The first year was the Gilly.
Okay, the Gilly. Yes.
Yeah, that was not the second one next year. Farouk was not the Steez one. So
but look at those 2 things. Brought so much attention.
That was why I went for the first time last year.
It blew it off the stratosphere. Yes. I think we should do that more because Nigeria has so much to offer. I don't think that we have to wait for the likes of Ishowspeed to come and show us what we have within our own as a nation. And this narrative control should be under us.
It should be under us.
Yes. But what do you think?
We should own it.
Yeah, true. We should actually own it.
We should own it. We shouldn't let other people actually tell our stories. We should always tell our story, and we should be mindful. Emotions, reactions, those ones are natural. But you need to script what people are coming in to do in your country.
Yes. I also think that if we create more structures that are pliable, more structures that make these other beauties, all these artifacts, all these works accessible, we're also creating more jobs.
Sure.
Do you understand? We're also creating more jobs, and people will be more, I mean, Lekki Market, for instance, you can go to Lekki Market and be there all day. You can buy a full house. You can decorate your house from top to bottom just from that market alone. And are there others like that? Or is it just that one that we have?
We have Oka now.
Okay.
Yeah, we have Oka now, Eco Atlantic. You can get everything household in one place, like a one-stop.
Oh yes, I heard about this Oka. Yes, there's the new
I think there's Lekki Market as well.
Okay.
Yes, and there's a leather market as well in Mushin as well.
Oh yes. Even leather factories in Kano and what have you. The process of making leather, even that in itself.
We have a motorized factory as well. We have a whole lot of stuff.
We do.
And even Abeokuta, Adire.
Because see how we are reading off names, and then we now get one person
just need proper plan, like I said, intention.
Begging to take picture. There's so much that we can offer.
Desperation and disorderliness.
Because when I looked at what Ghana did, I was like, we have much more than this.
That the video was even asking his wife.
I think he plans to stay for like 2 days.
So why didn't he stay for 2 days?
Because Davido called him while he was at night. Right, the video called him while he was on stream. And it was like, where are you? It was like, it was in Paris. Like, when are you leaving? He said he has 1 more day to spend in Lagos. Then all of a sudden, the next morning, this guy
so what do you think might have happened?
I think he just felt like he wasn't getting those highlights.
Maybe he wasn't getting what he wanted. Because I heard he wanted to interact and connect with the locals, but we were making it just celebrity, taking him to packaged places when we should have taken him to natural places that will show our rich culture and heritage.
Yeah, but Pella did try to connect with him, but like you said, they work for rival companies, and then Diego wasn't exactly.
But Jarvis connected with him, and she was able to
because she has
put
something to offer.
Oh, is that the one that gets like a robot?
Yes.
But even that, how does that really?
It doesn't show our culture anyway.
I mean, I thought to myself, okay, fine, but how does that?
Like when he went to Benin Republic, imagine egungun, like masquerades.
Proper
Yes,
masquerade.
And it was very
Exactly.
surprised, like wow.
Okay, there was one that there was masquerade.
Yeah, there was
It
nothing
looked like
inside.
there was nothing inside, and then it's suddenly.
So
but
you
we
should definitely
but
come
we
back.
too, we have those long.
Yeah,
we also have those
we have
long.
everything. You are getting
Exactly.
We have
got everything.
you
Yeah.
know, we
No,
should
but
have
he did go
showcased
to. He
all
did
that.
see Ayo. He did see part of the Ayo. Did he not?
Statue.
But one question now
Did you
is,
see Ayo?
would they have brought
He
Did
didn't
not
even go
Ayo.
to
would they have brought out
Gerardo.
Ayo for him?
He didn't go to National
No, I saw him
Theatre.
take some pictures with the Ayo, with people, the Ayo dressed in Ayo attire, I think.
Not at all.
Okay, maybe. But he also went to the Naked Art Gallery.
Yeah, he went to
that's-
Naked Art Gallery.
That's to me, it's about the only.
We should have also
Actually.
visited the newly renovated National Theatre. Wole
Yeah, that would have been good.
And
That
I
would
think
have
this
been
J.
good.
Randu too. Like,
J. Randu too for Yoruba
J.
Culture and
Yeah.
Heritage. We have a whole lot of stuff. Lekki Conservative Center.
I think he was just in transit. So
yes. So he should definitely come
he
back
should come back.
Check this on a part two, Sha.
to give them the 360 Lagos
No,
experience.
but, yeah,
come
but even if he doesn't come back, there'll be others.
Definitely, there'll be
I
other
think this
people.
has taught us a lesson on what not to do.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And how best to package.
And to
So
always
every
be
disappointment
prepared
can be a
too.
blessing in
Yes.
disguise.
At the end of the day.
Do you understand?
We're
So he might decide to
capitalizing on
come,
the
yes, he
mistakes
might
now.
decide to come much later, or somebody else might decide to come, but at least we now know
Yeah.
this, that. And I think it's imperative that you insist that whichever company wants to bring in any foreign
Yes.
body must
The Ministry of
collaborate.
Tourism,
with the
Yes.
Ministry of
state and
Tourism
federal government, they
And
need to be
also,
aware.
when somebody like that is coming next time, because of the publicity that he created, somebody from tourism
government should
sector
be welcoming him
should
at
also
the
welcome him, because I think the people also complained about that. And but
Yeah,
do you
because
think
he
that
just
might have?
told you.
I tried though. I even went to his DM self. I DM'd him personally.
Are you
you see it?
serious?
I'm telling
Did
you.
he reply?
He didn't reply.
Yeah, because you were told so.
What did you tell him?
Hello, welcome to Lagos. Let us show you around.
But did you say who you were?
Not at all. He
Ah,
didn't
no,
open,
do
he
you
didn't
have
open
any-
the
do you
message.
I mean, how would you know?
He didn't open the message, and I
But you
couldn't
can't
just
just
see him
see
around
him.
Lagos because of the way they were pushing people
Yeah.
and all of that. But
funny
then
how
we
he
really
sends-
wanted
he
him
sends
to have
DMs to some people.
experience.
You sent
Like
DMs
before the
to
game,
some
yeah.
people, yeah.
There was a particular dancer that he linked up with.
You see.
He linked his DM with Speed. Like Speed just reached out to him like, "Oh, what country?" He said Nigeria. I said,
So it shows that there
Because
wasn't
he
proper
really
planning.
wanted to experience Nigeria.
No, that's
He
just- it's so
actually
painful.
wanted
So the
to.
PR company should do better next time.
Yes.
Yeah, they
Yes,
should do
and
better.
it shouldn't be left to just a PR company. They must work.
And we shouldn't be
in
looking down
collaboration.
on people. It
Yes.
doesn't matter if they are young people.
Yeah.
So long they have something to offer
offer.
our
Of
country,
course,
they
young
should
people have
accommodate
ideas.
them.
Looking down on your people how?
Yeah, because when Dami was explaining, he said some of the guys said, "Oh, you know, they are young people. They don't listen to people. They just
Oh,
do."
okay.
So there's
okay,
nothing
okay.
like.
But I'm sure
everybody's
even
young.
they themselves, when they now listen to this discussion and compare the visits to Ghana and other countries, they will now know that look, at the end of the day, we should have been wiser
Yeah, we should.
to work with a bigger body, stronger body, and send a stronger message.
We are the giants of Africa.
We are the giants
Yeah,
of
we are
Africa.
the giants of
entertainment
Africa.
of- the
You
entertainment
understand?
of-
We have the good, the bad, and the ugly, like everybody, everywhere else. But I don't think our narrative should be told by foreigners.
Yes.
Not
I think
even
we should be able to tell
reception,
our
Not
own
even
narrative.
reception narrative.
Yes,
Because
and
we
I
are
think that
good
has
at
been
it.
done already anyway
We
with
are good at
our
it.
shows, with our movies. Because I hear Hollywood is number 3 after
Yeah,
Hollywood,
we're doing
Bollywood,
beautiful
Nollywood.
movies
Yes.
now on
and
Netflix.
the collabo
everywhere.
just came out some days ago, and those are like
Exactly. I mean, look at
Proper
Fela. Fela is from
movies.
Nigeria. For
Yes,
crying out
and he's
loud.
even been honored today.
Of course,
Grammy
yes,
Recording
Lifetime
Academy.
Achiever Award, yes. So we've done extremely well. I mean, there's nowhere
Yes,
on earth
we have.
that you will go to now that you will not hear Afrobeat
Nigerians
music.
are everywhere in the
true.
world.
There's just so much.
We're everywhere.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bodex.
you.
Thank you so much, Tomiwa. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Damilola, for your deep insight in today's conversation. Anyway, Space Visit is a reminder. Space Visit is a reminder that African story is ours to tell. It challenges us to continue shaping the narrative, celebrating our culture, creativity, and achievements, so that ignorance and growth can no longer define how the world sees us. We must be able to tell our own story ourselves to the best of our capability. Thank you so much for watching me here on Perspectives. We look forward to seeing you next week. Goodbye.